gon' be the one still around when the smoke clear. You looking at some real ones. Last of the real ones. Girl, you gotta be sick of the front game. Small town kid that ain't never had.
You know what it is. It's your boy Packy here with podcast number 23, I believe. It's our Jordan podcast. Only right that I'm flying solo on it. The LeBron podcast, you could say. So, everyone told me doing a podcast by myself would be awkward and shitty. And we're going to find out. It's going to be difficult for me without the tech nerd here to execute this, but here we go. You know, you don't know unless you try. So, unfortunately, on this solo pod, we have some very somber news to start out on. Obviously, the big topic of the week has been the death, murder of XXX Tentacion. And you know, it's been a hot topic this week, obviously on social media and other outlets. The kid is dead. I feel weird talking about especially a 20-year-old who just lost his life, but he was a public figure. He was a complex, polarizing public figure at that. And I asked this morning people to give me topics they wanted to hear about, and just about everyone included this on their topic. So being that he's a public figure, being that it's a popular topic of conversation, I feel that it can be addressed. Obviously, to start off, nobody deserves to die. Nobody. We all know by now some of the horrifying things that X has done and was accused of doing. Now it could be because of his upbringing. I know he had a super rough upbringing, mental illness. He seems clearly to have some type of issue or struggled with mental illness. I mean, anything, but we all know that the things he's done, the things he's been accused of doing, that have been in the news are terrible. Still, he doesn't deserve to die. From many accounts that I've heard recently, he was really trying to turn over a new leaf. And I mean, he was 20 years old. It's a tragedy that he was robbed of that chance. I can't imagine someone close to me or someone I was associated with being murdered, passing away at 20 years old, as someone with as an artist, so much potential, so much promise, and you know, any death is a tragedy. But you know, we do this thing in society. We do this extreme thing, and I know it goes along with social media and what we talk about a lot on this podcast, the clickbait world we live in, you know, and we've done, people, I see people have done it with X's death. There's two things. It's only two extremes. The people who are mourning his death and are grieving, they're sweeping his crimes and allegations under the rug. They think the bad things he's done are okay. That's how the one side is painted. And then you got the people who feel indifferent about his death, and they're unsympathetic assholes who are happy that he's dead. There's so much gray area in between there. For me personally, I don't like to see anyone die, especially a young person who should have had so much time left. Did his death hit me hard? Did it affect my day? No, it didn't. I wasn't his family. I wasn't his friend. I wasn't even a fan of him. For those who fall into those categories, I feel for you, and I understand why you take it hard. I get it. I just happen to not fall into any of those categories. If you were someone who loved X while he was alive, whether it be friend, family, fan, obviously you're mourning his death. If you were someone who admonished his behavior, some of the bad things he did while he was alive, I don't think you have to be so sensitive as to like just delete that behavior from your thoughts and feelings when he dies. As long as as long as you're not dancing on his grave, like I keep saying, nobody deserves to die. I wish people would kind of stop with some of the superiority complex, the idea that my thoughts and opinions are better and more righteous than yours. Especially when a public figure dies, we remember their life. It's natural to me that friends, family, and fans, those three things that I keep referring to, and just people who are touched by the good in the person, remember the good. It's natural that you do that, and it's good to do that. It's natural that maybe a stranger who just reads the bad things in the news, or someone who was actually touched by the bad things in this person's life, remember the bad. That's just that's human nature. I definitely don't think someone should be remembered and judged for the worst things they've done. I don't think that's fair. At the same time, I don't think death erases the bad from a person's life. I think sometimes people get caught up in, oh, they died, let's just repaint this picture of the person. As long as people are telling the truth to the best of their ability and not just slandering somebody, I don't see why one person has the right to tell another person how to react to a death. I don't care how bad you think somebody is, they have people close to them, they have people that care about them, and vice versa. X did not touch, strike, affect me in any type of positive way. He didn't strike me as a person I choose to put on a pedestal. That's me. His death is still tragic. He didn't deserve to die. Death puts things into perspective, and I hope the best for the people that are affected. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. That's about all I have to say on it. I know it's a difficult thing. It still feels weird talking about someone's death. But he was a public figure. He lived his life online, in social media, in videos. I've seen a lot of talk about the filming of his dead body. Some people are appalled at the inappropriateness of it. And in theory, I am too. I don't like that, but welcome to the world we live in. It's 2018. Those are the type of things that go on for good or bad. I mean, and you're talking about a guy who, like I said, lived his life in social media and videos, and whether appropriate or not, this just comes with the territory. Those are my thoughts on the matter. It's sad. There's, as of me filming this, I believe there's one suspect in custody. It's thought to be a robbery, but I don't think anything is for sure yet. And until the motive and the full story comes out, I'm not gonna really get into this shit any further, other than it's a tragedy. I wish people didn't, an hour after it happened, start just the whole conversation is about how we're allowed to talk about it. He was a public figure. He lived his life in a very public way. And so people are going to have opinions on it. He was complex. He was polarizing. He had people that loved him to death and people that hated him. And I think there's a place for it to be all represented as long as it's the truth. Some of the stuff I see floating around about it is just, it's a tragedy. Let it be a tragedy. It sucks. Anyways, tough to transition from that into the rest of the pod. Not really sure how to do that, but maybe I'll do I got anything bright and sunny to play? We need a little sunroom music in here. Let's see. Oh, wait. Before I finish on that, transitioning into, I'm not talking about his actual death or anything like that anymore, but I see stuff, and obviously Russ seems to be the target of a lot of this type of thing. Is what is up with this fad now on Twitter of the photoshopping people's tweets and creating just disgusting stuff, because most bright people can realize that this stuff is photoshopped and people wouldn't actually say these things, but there's lots of people on the internet that get caught up in, I can't remember exactly what I saw, but it was after X's death. Somebody made some fake tweet from Russ that was like just something terrible. I can't remember, in relation to X's death. Like, karma will get you, some shit like that. But it was a fake tweet, but people latch onto that and throw hate at him, and it just becomes this whole thing. Like, I thought the whole idea is to mourn, and if you're someone that loved X, is to mourn. Don't create all this. Everyone wants the retweets. Everyone wants the attention at the end of the day, and it's just it's like a sick social media thing. Just, this death should put things in perspective. It's real life. Death is real life. And so stop trying to make this shit into a publicity. It's sick to me, but whatever. Those are my thoughts on it. We're going to move on. Sorry that I had to start that way. I wanted this to be a fun pod, and it will be. We're going to get back on track, but yeah, that's the end of that. I don't have Moe-T for some dope. So anyways, lots of music has been dropping. It's been a good 2018 for hip hop. Hell of a year. There's 3 albums that just recently dropped. By the way, if you catch me looking over here, I got the draft on over here. I just started. I don't think anyone's been picked yet. But yeah, 3 albums. The Beyonce Jay-Z album, Everything Is Love. The Nas album, and J-Rock, Redemption. I don't know if anything else dropped. Those are the 3 that were interesting to me that I listened to. And, here's my thoughts. I'm going to start with the Beyonce and Jay-Z one, Everything Is Love. Just quality music. Jay-Z is damn near 50 years old, still rapping better than most cats out there. Beyonce is Beyonce. Self-admittedly, I've only listened to the project once, but I liked what I heard. It was just a solid project. For my one listen, I liked that Nice record. It was definitely a Pharrell production. I haven't looked it up to make sure, but you know a Pharrell production when you hear one, especially a Jay-Z and Pharrell collab. I'm a big Pharrell production fan, and so that was one of my favorites off first listen. But just good music, man. I mean, you can't get two of the best artists of all time together and make a shitty product. So that was my first reaction to theirs. The Nas album, okay. To me, this is what it sounds like, and I don't know that this is what happened, but to me, this is what it sounds like when you produce an album to the lyrics rather than right to the production. It sounded like these were, at least a lot of the records were verses that Nas had done, and Kanye went and like produced around them, or produced and matched these verses to the beats. Like, if I just assess the lyrics, I mean, it's Nas. Like, I like the lyrics. If I just assess the lyrics, I like the project. If I just assess the production, solid. Like, I don't have any terrible thing to say about the production. Just for some reason, the fit together doesn't do it for me. Like, Nas's flow feels like it on most of the records feels almost forced onto some of that production. Like, it just didn't feel flowy and smooth to me. I liked that Everything record. I actually saw a lot of people hating on that with Kanye and Dream. It was the long record, like the 7-minute record. I kind of liked that one. The hook was if I had everything, I could change anything. If I changed anything, I would change everything. I thought that was a really cool line. Nothing on the album had a ton of replay value for me. I guess that was kind of my thing, like why it kind of made me kind of blah. Again, I guess I like the 7-track thing, because even though as I was listening, nothing was hitting me very hard. I give all the records a fair listen. It's because it's not very time consuming. So I know Nas has been working on an album for a while. I don't think this is the one. I hope it's not. Not that it sucks. It just didn't do it for me. I don't think this is the one he's been working on. I think we're gonna still get a better album from Nas soon. But again, not, Kanye, great producer, Nas, amazing MC. It's not bad. It just didn't do it for me. Last but not least, J-Rock, Redemption. Awesome album. Cohesive with bangers, which is rare to find like these days. Cohesive album with bangers. It's normally like, it feels like either a super artsy, cohesive, well put together project, but it doesn't have the replay value, the singles, the bangers. This was cohesive with bangers. I'm not going to even act like I'm some big J-Rock fan. I'm not super familiar with his catalog. Not real familiar with his solo catalog, but over the last couple years, a few of his verses have piqued my interest, like Money Trees and the Black Hippie record. I think it was a J-Rock record, but it had Q and Solo and Kendrick. Vice City. J-Rock went in on that, and so he kind of piqued my interest there. But, for those that don't know, he was the first TDE signee. And shout out, man, TDE, side note, they got to be doing it the best as far as labels go. I mean, they give each artist their own attention when it's time for their rollout. And I mean, even now, Kendrick has established himself as like one of the top 2 guys in hip hop right now. And he's all over that album, which obviously is going to improve it. So props to TDE, man. Like, they just keep doing it right, whether it be Q or SZA or J-Rock or Kendrick, whatever. They just keep doing it right. But man, if you haven't heard this album, Win, Wild Freestyle with Kendrick, the intro, the bloodiest one, Out of Sight, Out of Mind with J. Cole, and that there's a video out for that, which is crazy. It's dope. And then like I could pick my top whatever 4 or 5 songs off that, and they're all amazing. And then everything else, I still am cool to listen to. Like, I don't know. Let me look. How many songs are on that album? Because it's not one of these 7-track projects. But there's not one that I feel like I have to skip if I listen to it all the way through. Let's see, 13 songs, and I don't really feel like I have to skip any when I listen to it, which is this day and age. That's pretty damn good. And this is what impresses me most is that it's coming from a guy that it's not the Kendrick, J. Cole, Drake, Big Sean, Kanye, Jay-Z, whatever that I always look forward to hearing their projects. It's a guy I wasn't super familiar with. And so I went into it without super high expectations and was actually blown away. So if you haven't heard J-Rock's album, Redemption, you definitely got to listen to that. Oh, speaking of which, there's been a lot of music this year. Everybody likes a good list every now and then. So I'm going to give you guys my top 5 albums of 2018 so far. Obviously, there's some good albums left off, and I know in the comments you're going, what about this and what about this? And yeah, it's tough to whittle it down to 5, but you know what? Damn it. That's what I did. Pick it apart, hate on it, comment your top 5. Let me see what you guys are listening to, but these are mine. Starting with number 5, Kanye West, Yay. I know it's going to get a lot of hate. Very polarizing figure. But if I'm just listening to the music, that's a very dope album to me. Take the intro off of there, which I also thought what was fine for an intro, because intros can be whatever you want. I'm not necessarily judging that on like replay value as a song as a whole. The other 6 songs, I like them all. I got them all in rotation. So that's my number 5. Number 4, J. Cole, KOD. I gotta admit, I was pretty high on this album when it came out. it hasn't had as much replay value for me as I thought it was gonna. But still, as far as 2018 goes, definitely in my top 5, coming in at number 4. And then next up, we have number 3, Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap. Great album. Lots of dope songs, lots of dope material. Still got some of those songs in rotation. Nip Hussle coming in at number 3. Number 2, Call Me a Prisoner of the Moment, but I think this is going to stand the test of time. I think in a few months I will still feel the way I feel about this album. J-Rock Redemption. I'm that high on it, guys. I'm that friggin' high on it. And then number 1, do we have any guesses? Make some guesses. Turn to your friend. Make a guess. See who's right. We got the sewer rat himself, Post Malone, Beer Bongs and Bentleys. Lot of songs, lot of good songs, a lot of different stuff, versatility, easy listening, vibey. I just like that project overall. That's my number 1 of 2018. Again, comment your top 5 in the comments. I'd like to see what you guys are listening to. This is definitely weird doing the solo pod, not to have Moe-T piping in with smart ass comments, telling me he doesn't have any topics. But whatever. I guess my opinion is gold today. No one can refute me. I will not be reading the YouTube comments, so whatever I say is fact. I'm watching the draft over here. It looks like we went 8 and then Bagley 1-2. No major surprise there, I don't think. Sounds like they're projecting MSU boy Jaren Jackson to go number 3 to the Hawks. We'll see if that happens. I wouldn't be too mad at that. It'd be good for him. Moving right along, what do we got up next? So I asked people this morning what they wanted to hear about. I got a comment from Joel, Nobody Epic. He mentioned a few things, and at the end he said Drake album coming. And I think we got a release date for that, June 29th. It sounds like. Word is he's going to have a Pusha diss on there. Sounds like per DJ Academics, cornball, but sounds like the original diss that we talked about. Long story, Jay Prince said it's too much. He's not going to put it out, blah, blah, blah. Sounds like it's been toned down and will appear on Scorpion, the album. We'll see. I hope it does. I'm sad it's toned down if it does, but I hope it does anyways. That's per DJ Academics. I don't know if that's fact or if that's fiction. Before I heard that from Academics, I assumed Scorpion would be littered with subliminal shots at Pusha, which is Drake's forte. In typical Drake fashion. But if he actually puts the diss on there, I will be pleasantly surprised. He better come with it, because if he actually puts a diss record on there, he's gonna have to battle the idea that he's too late, especially if he tones it down. So if people feel like it doesn't hit as hard as Pusha's and he came with it late, he risks looking even worse than he does now. But I appreciate the effort if he puts it on there. I didn't want that beef to end. We'll see. I'd be interested in that. Speaking of Drake, so I'm thinking about his album. I'm thinking about, if he puts this diss record on there, and I want to know from you guys, are you excited for new Drake music? And if you are, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you? Because I know, when he was dropping Take Care, when he was dropping Nothing Was the Same, even when he was dropping Views, I was on a 10 for excitement about Drake projects. I was hype. I still obviously, like, right when it comes out, I'm going to listen to it. But I wouldn't put my excitement on 10. I'd put it more at like a 8. Luka Doncic goes number 3. Wow. Jaren Jackson's still out there. But I put my excitement level at like an 8. And I'm not sure why. with every artist, with every, you know, celebrity, they run out of time eventually. Even if they keep giving you good stuff, people just will get sick of you over time. Fair or foul. That's just kind of what comes with the territory. I don't know if Drake's approaching that. I'm not sure why I'm not quite as excited. If he drops a great album, I'll probably just eat my words, which I think he will. He's given me no reason to think he won't drop a great project, but I wonder when Drake's reign will end. His reign has been unprecedented. Like he's in the past, there have been rappers on top of the game, whether it be the Jay-Z's, the Kanye's, the 50 Cents, the Eminems. But if they had a solo reign, it was for like a year at a time. Otherwise, you could make the argument that this year was 50 Cent or Kanye. You know, you could make the argument. It was Eminem or Jay-Z. Since Drake, probably since Take Care, Drake has been the guy, the undisputed number one in hip hop. And obviously that has to end at some point. I see Drake as the type of guy that would much rather retire on top. I see you got, like I mentioned before, you got Jay-Z out here, damn near 50 years old. I believe he's 48. And he's still killing it. I think Drake could make good music for a long, long time, just like Jay-Z. But I do think if Drake were to retire on top of the game, let's say he drops Scorpion, maybe he drops one more album and then he says, this is my last one, and then I'm out. He's already going to go down as a legend. I think that would enhance his legendary status. And I think Drake is aware of this, and I don't see Drake rapping into his 40s. Maybe not even into his high 30s. He's got other talents. He's obviously set for life. I could be wrong. That's the way I see it. I don't think he wants to fall into any type of slide like a Lil Wayne or even an Eminem, where they start to not be looked at in the same light as they were when they were on top. So I'll be interested to watch Drake over the next few years and see how his projects are received. Not necessarily how many records he's selling, but just how the culture and the curators and the I hate these words, curators and gatekeepers and things like that, but just how hip hop culture views his albums, because that's different than album sales. You could look at like an Eminem who still sells crazy records, but he's definitely not in the same light as he was, with the Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady LP, the Eminem show. It's just not the same, even though he's selling records. I'll be interested to see where Drake goes. I think he's got, including Scorpion, he's got maximum, to me, if he wants to go out on top, he's got 3 or 4 albums. If he wants to go out on top. And I don't think he has to. Like I said, I think he could still keep making good music. I think it's going to be a choice from him, What if Kobe would have retired, 3 or 4 years earlier? I know injuries derailed him and whatever, but you'd look at him a little differently. Some people. I don't care, because you get older, you're an athlete, you get a little worse, whatever. That's what happens. So, but I know some people take that shit into account. Just interesting to watch. But obviously, June 29th, everybody looking forward to the Drake drop. Hopefully the Pusha stuff is on there. I got a comment when I was asking about the pod. I got a comment from Justin Stone, fellow indie artist. Done a few songs with him. For those that aren't familiar, go check him out. But he wanted me to give advice to indie artists. And he even mentioned this in his tweet, both of our inboxes are full of these type of questions, you know, advice for independent artists. And Mo and I have touched on this topic on a lot of podcasts. But when I'm asked about this, if I have a short amount of time to answer, I usually go with invest in yourself. I like that advice because right away it separates the people who are really about it from the people that are just, you know, the wannabe rappers. Because you can save up the money for a computer, a mic, an interface, you know, and start to learn your craft. You know, and as you get better, you can invest more. You can get better equipment. You could be the dopest MC on the earth if your records sound like garbage, or worse yet, you can't even record a song because you just can't get your shit together. It doesn't fucking matter. So that's my number one advice. That's my go-to advice is invest in yourself. It proves that you're really about it, and you need it to even, if you suck at rapping, but you invest in yourself and you have the quality, you're at least going to get honest feedback. And maybe you need it, and you need people to tell you suck, and you either get better or you say, this isn't my calling. Or if you're dope, you'll actually have people interested in your shit because the quality's there. Like I said, you could be dope, and if the quality sucks, you're not going to get the feedback that you need. So that would be my number one advice. Since I'm on the podcast, I got a little more time. I don't have to just give one answer. I don't have to give the go-to answer for me. There's just a few other things that jumped in my mind that I don't think we've necessarily touched on the pod. Jaren Jackson, number 4 to the Grizzlies. Shout out to State Boy, man. One time, I don't have the hand clap sound effect that Moe-T has, but you know, one time. Oh yeah, look at Tommy Izzo smiling. He looks like my dad, low key. But yeah, invest in yourself. Now, moving on to another thing I don't think we've touched on the pod as far as advice for independent artists, especially rappers, but it could apply. These things can apply to all artists. You don't deserve shit. You aren't owed shit. When I first started out, I never thought that I was made to be an artist. Yeah. Like, honestly, other than my writing talent and my interest in writing, I probably thought the opposite. I was a good student with, you know, a business mind, an academic mind. And as the years have gone by and I've been an artist and I got into that world, I've realized, like, I've met so many people that are more quote unquote artistic than I am. But I've found that they're not nearly as built for this shit as I actually am. People think, a lot of the people I've run into, these people that want to be artists, they think if you're talented or you can just make a good song, that shit will just happen. It doesn't work like that unless you're really, really lucky. You have to earn everything. And just when you think you've earned something, you don't get what you think you earned, and you have to keep proving yourself. That's just the way it works. Artists have to deal with rejection more than I think just about any other profession, because you put your heart and soul into something and people immediately judge it. And they don't give a damn whether they have positive or negative things to say. That a lot of times they don't realize how important your music is to you, how personal it is, and people just shit on it. And you got to pick yourself back up and move on. You got to keep proving yourself. And you might think, I've done this, this, and this, and this. I deserve this. Trust me, I've been there, and you don't get it. But that's the way it is. And you know, we're lucky to live in an age where we can basically go directly to the consumer with our product through Apple and Spotify and YouTube and other resources. Basically, the whole world can access your stuff. It's really up to you to create that demand. Of course, people can really help you along the way. And a lot of times you'll need that. For as many times as rappers, and I've probably said it before, I did this shit by myself. You know, nobody helped me. Yeah, to an extent. because you get rejected and you get passed by so many times that you really do feel like that. But if you sat down at the end of the day, if I sat down at the end of the day and I looked at, I definitely couldn't have done this by myself. Obviously, I couldn't have done it without Moe-T right away. And there's a lot of other people that have helped along the way. But you can't expect it. At the end of the day, a lot of the resources are there for us this day and age. It just comes down to putting the work in. You could be the most talented person, make lots of good moves, and you still might not make it. That's just the nature of the business. It's just the way it is. It's about, I feel like it's about connections, work ethic, and talent. And you know what? If I had to put those in an order, I would say talent comes last. Assessing myself and Mo, obviously, I would say we've thrived in the work ethic portion. I believe the talent portion, but the connections portion has definitely lacked. If I gotta look myself in the mirror and be honest about it, I could sit here and say, man, we've just been unlucky. No one's giving us the looks. No one's throwing us a bone. But you know what? I really look myself in the mirror and I say, we could do more. We're not the managerial type people, the outgoing, go meet all these people, go shake hands, go rub elbows type people. And you know what? We definitely could benefit from that. We could have benefited from that in the past. We could have, I think we've touched on before, we could have used from day one, if we had some go-getter manager, that would have been beneficial. But you know what? I don't blame people that could have been our managers or tried to or whatever. I look at us because it's stuff we could do. I just believe you always got to look in the mirror. There's so much opportunity out there. I just hate the woe is me mentality. We have a lot of resources as independent artists, up and coming artists these days to get ourselves out there. It's just about creating that demand. And at the end of the day, if you create that demand, you got it. If you have people that are willing to pay for your shit, you got it. Trae Young to the Mavs at number 5. That's an interesting pick. Oh, wait. They traded him to the Hawks? We already got some crazy shit going on. All right, the last piece of advice I'll give to the indie artists, and there's lots we could say. There's so much advice, and that's why I wanted to even address in my last point how, looking at Mo and I and saying we've done this, we've excelled here, but I can say we've slacked in this area. Like, I'm not out here preaching like I've done it and I'm the shit. But I've been in this space for 9 years, and I feel like I can give this type of advice. The last thing I'll say is when you're starting out, and when I say starting out, I don't mean the first few months. I mean the first few years, up to 4 or 5, 6. You hear guys that have done this for 7, 8 years before shit clicks. Always, always, always choose exposure over money. If you really want to get big and do this shit for real, you got to choose exposure over money. You're going to have opportunities to make $100 here, $500 there, maybe $1,000 over here. But if you're sacrificing exposure in the process, you're making a mistake. It doesn't mean you can't make money early on if it's the right thing. It doesn't mean you should get taken advantage of, or you should pay to play, or you should do shows that suck for you where you're really getting taken advantage of. But when you're starting out, you're going to feel like you're getting taken advantage of, I think. And that's not a bad thing. That means you're choosing the exposure over the money. And I believe that pays off in the end. The money comes last. because the real money comes from a big demand. It comes from a big fan base of people buying into your shit. If you cut that off too soon and you chase the money too early and you sacrifice the exposure, you limit your potential. You're making it really difficult for yourself. It's not impossible, but if you do that, you're making it really difficult for yourself. What do you guys think of these suits with the shorts instead of the pants? I don't know how I feel about it. I think some people can pull it off, some people can't, I guess. But I guess that's fashion in general. Trae Young, I think he's doing all right. I wouldn't do it. But, you know, I don't have nice legs, so. All right, what else we got? So let's take a look here. Before I started recording, I said to tweet with the hashtag, I believe, PackyPod. Oh yeah, here we go. If you guys had questions, and I haven't looked at these, so I'm just going to be kind of spitballing here, reading these questions and answering some of them. By the way, the merch is flying. Shout out to all you guys that have ordered. We had a few orders run into some issues with like back ordering, but I believe there's 3 of them right now that should go out tomorrow. So if you've ordered and you feel like, oh, it's been a while, what the fuck? You were one of the few, but your stuff will be shipped out tomorrow. And we should be letting you guys know next week whether it looks like we're going to hit the goal. I don't want to jump the gun on the hoodies, the collective hoodies. I will say though, if you want one of the, we have a few different colorways you can choose from. If you want one of the colors, make sure you go pre-order. We definitely won't have any of the colors in stock. We might order some extra black ones for people that didn't get the pre-order but want to get those. Might. If you want them at all, order them now for sure. If you for sure want them, order them now. But if you want a colorway, you definitely got to order now. So let's see. Let's start at the beginning here. We got a few questions here for the Packy Pod. I hope this isn't boring, you guys. I feel like a damn newscaster up here just reporting the news, but I guess we'll see. It's very peaceful without Moe-T's sound effects and dow. What would you do if you found someone dissing you in a song? Would you reply or just ignore? That's from Alex Parsons. It would all depend. I feel like it would depend who it's from. You know, if someone close to me, you know, if Cyrus decided to diss me, I would definitely reply. If some Joe Schmo that I didn't even know and wasn't really shit to me wanted to diss me, I'm probably not going to diss you back because I don't give a damn about you. I don't even know shit about you. How can I diss you if I don't even know shit about you? You obviously, you know, care a lot about me to diss me if you're not even around me. But if it's someone close to me, someone that, especially if they've got a little bit of a platform, yeah, I'll reply. But my default position would probably be not to, because I just feel like with a lot of that stuff, you're giving people are trying to bait you, and you're giving people shine when that's what they wanted all along. So my default would probably be no, but sometimes I might not be able to resist. Let's see. Some of these are questions I've definitely answered before. What was your go-to food when you had braces? My go-to food when I had braces. Well, one of my favorite foods is nachos, and I wasn't eating those with the braces, so I've definitely been having some of those since they came off. Been eating popcorn. What was my favorite food when I had the braces? I'll go with ice cream, man. I'm an ice cream fiend. It's definitely my guilty pleasure along with everything else I eat, because I eat unhealthy as shit. Yeah, big ice cream guy. Where am I at in terms of a new Packy album, Spec Collective album? I'm just putting out these singles, man. Just putting out these singles. Packy, shouldn't you be getting more attention? Next question. Oh, by the way, that the braces question was from Jason. Shout out Jason. The album was Ryan. What's your dream car? I'm not a big car guy, so I don't really have. I wouldn't say I have a dream car. I like old school muscle cars. As far as current cars, I know this is basic as fuck, but I like the 4-door hardtop Jeep, like Saharas. Those are dope to me. Okay. Good question. Logan Missick. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Have I checked out the new Alexa? I have not, and every week I feel like I have a day where I'm like, I gotta check that shit out, and I totally forget, but I gotta check that out. Is it fire? It's gotta be fire. Shout out Alexa. And Mark and Ollie and all the homies out there doing it. UK tour someday? Question mark from Jake. I hope so, man. I thought I was really close to putting something together really just a few months ago. But it fell through. But we were close enough where I hope that if we can make a few things shake, hopefully we can get over there. What are some of the songs you're most proud of and ones you feel like you could have done better? That's a good question. I wish I would have had more time to think about that because that's kind of hard. Some of the songs I'm most proud of, probably Defining Moment, My Foundation. Definitely some of the more personal songs, because I think those are the hardest ones to not only put pen to paper. That might be an easier part, but actually getting in there and recording. My Foundation was the only song I think that I've ever recorded and like my eyes started kind of watering. Psych, I'm hard. And I was caught off guard. I wasn't expecting that. So that was one I'm more proud of for sure. Ones I feel like I could have done better. I don't necessarily, nothing really jumps into my mind. Not that like I think everything is so dope that there aren't any, but I just feel like I would never put a song out if I felt like I could have done it better. And I know what you mean. Like in hindsight, would I go back and do things? Yeah, there's different lines here or there where maybe I'd change, but overall, I don't think I would like make any major changes to songs. They just were what they were in the moment, and I recorded them and I liked them and I put them out. And you know, some I like better than others in hindsight, but at the time, they were what they were, and they fit what I needed at the time. Let's see. Are we ever going to get vinyl releases of albums, old or new? Do people actually want those? We can do that, but I didn't think there was that big of a market for it. So, I mean, I guess make a comment for vinyls if you guys are really into that. But it just seems like so many physical, like CDs are going to become the new vinyls damn near. No one even has CD players in their cars anymore. So I know vinyls are cool collectors and I think they're dope, but I don't know how much of a demand there is out there. So if you're one of those people, I guess comment, and we'll see how much demand we have, and maybe we could do something like that. Let's see. That might be good on the questions. How long have we gone here? I thought maybe the maximum I could do this was like 20 minutes, but I feel like we've been okay. I have no idea how far along we are, but I'm guessing it's got to be right around 40 minutes or something. 40. If we can get to 45 minutes, I'd be satisfied with that. I don't have Moe-T's the voicemail guy, so I didn't even ask him about that. But yeah. Let's see. I should have a new song coming next week. Marcus has some dope shit for you guys that I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but it might be visually pleasing. If you haven't checked out, let me talk about Marcus for a second. This dude works really hard. He's super artistic. He's super, he's a manager. So he's got a whole nother job that takes a lot of his attention, but yet he still comes through with some dope songs. Him and his girl do some dope artwork. He does all these visuals. I want to make sure you guys that, because he's a newer artist, I want to make sure you guys really give him a chance. He brings a different flavor to the Specktators collective. But man, his new song is Hype Beast that I'm on. Panic at the Disco. To me, those are just two really dope songs. I mean, what he does on Panic it's something fresh and funky, and I hope you guys give it a chance. So just a little marketing there for Marcus, but I was thinking about that the other day when I created a little playlist on Spotify. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's right on my page. It's called My Rotation. It's under my artist picks. But I was picking, I wanted to have a Cyrus song, Marcus song, whatever, and I was going through some of Marcus's, recent stuff, and he's just got some real solid shit that he's doing. So I just want to make sure you guys give him a chance. Anyways, appreciate you guys if you made it this far, listening to the newscast. Moe-T is at a bachelor party, for those that don't know. He will be back next week. Maybe I'll make him fly solo. But this was cool. I got to see if I can edit this and get it out in a timely manner, because I haven't done it yet, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But I think I can handle it. And I got an outro to a song. Let's throw it back one time, huh? What do we want to hear? Ooh, this could be a good one. Old Packy. It's about 5 years ago. Still spitting bars. Peace, guys.
Everybody know what time it is. I'm going in like open doors. Hit another gear and then it's spilling out like open drawers. Doper than a fiend, cleaner than soap. And every time I flow, it's a new wave. I'm hoping you can float. I'm a tsunami, a super soaker. I poke around my circle like a euchre deck. I take the jokers out and nothing lower than a 9. Cause a 9 make you appreciate a dime. I'll be sipping ace of spades when I'm in my prime. The come up, I ain't even banking, but I be hot as hell in rhymes Aretha like Franklin. What up? Hear a lot of anonymous hating. Shut up, your dream girl waiting to pick the young blood up. Ted Al, bet you mess with us now. Bet you in love with the flow. Bet you be digging the style. I be going 2 miles an hour so everybody sees me. Really, it's a